Hello and welcome to Maths by SAS. This is my third lesson of D3 chapter number 9 exercise 9b, that is about the bearings. What are the bearings and how to calculate the bearing of any position, and what are three rules for the calculation of bearings, that is N, T and C. N, T, C. N is north, T is 3 digits and C is the clockwise direction. You have to keep this rule in your mind, and then the lesson of bearing will not be difficult for you. And second important concept that we are going to use is the alternate angles. So for all those students who are catching us late or they have missed the previous class, I'll be giving the link of the lesson in the description box so that you can watch and understand those lessons properly, because lessons of mathematics require continuous integration and practice of the previous concept, and if one link is weak, the next lesson will also be affected. So please must watch those lessons properly for better understanding of next lesson. Let's move to today's class, and in today's class I'll be discussing question number 3, basic level. Question 3 says the figure shows the positions P, Q and R, and we have to find the different bearings. Let's move to the discussion of the question, and the first part of the question is that we have to find the bearing of Q from P. Bearing of Q from P. Recall my previous lesson that from which point, from the north of which point we have to start the movement. We have to start our movement from the point which is coming afterward from, and here the starting point from which we have to start taking the turn north, from north and clockwise is P, and P is already on the north, and we have to find the bearing of Q from P. So we have to start a movement from this place and we have to take this turn only. So we can see that this angle is already given to us. So what we have to do, that bearing of Q from P, bearing of Q from P is 0.36 degrees. And what is the reason of writing 0.36 degrees? We know that we have to give our answer to 3 digits for the bearings if they are not. Moving to the second part, that is bearing of P from Q. Now the starting point is changed, that we have to start the movement from which point? From Q. So first let me draw the compass at Q. Okay, let me draw the compass at Q. I'm going very slow so that my students can understand the concept easily. Okay, this is north, and let me complete the compass at this position. And now what we have to do, we have to start our movement from this place, and we have to stop at this point. This is a semicircle, but we do not have to stop at this place. We have to take little further movement, which is this one. Now we know that this angle is forming a semicircle, and what is the degree turn of semicircle? That is 180 degrees. We already know that from D1, but what about this angle? Okay, and now look that here we have the north at this position and north as at this position. So these two norths are parallel to each other. Norths are parallel to each other. Okay, this is the north, and P. This line P to Q line is becoming a transversal. So whatever angle will be over here, same angle will be over here due to alternate angles. So this will be 36 degrees angle, 36 degrees. So it means that the bearing of P from Q, bearing of P from Q is 180 plus 36. 180 plus 36 and which gives me 6, 8 and 3, 11, 216 degrees. Okay, let me use some color pencil so that my students can see these two angles carefully, that they are equal. And why are they equal, children? Because they are alternate angles. Due to the alternate angles, these two angles are equal, so they will have the same Meyer. Now one more thing, students, look at the diagram carefully. We can see that this total angle was of Meyer 100 degrees, but out of that 100, some portion is of Meyer 36 degrees. So 100 minus 36, 100 minus 36 is 64 degrees. So this much portion of remaining portion of this same angle at Q is 64 degrees. Okay, now the next part is the C part of the same question is bearing of R from P. Bearing of R from P. Now again recall the lesson that on which point we have to start the movement and at which point we have to stop our movement. Bearing of R from P, it means that we have to start the movement from the north of P, and we have to stop at what place? We have to stop at R. Bearing of R from P. Now look, this angle and this much turn. Okay, we have to start the movement from this point, and we have to take the turn till this point. Now look, bearing of R from P. In this case, you can see that we are in the first quadrant, and we have reached to the required point. So the bearing of R from P is 36 plus 37 degrees. 36 plus 37, 7 and 6 is 13 and 73 degrees. Really easy and really clear questions. And moving to the next part, we are done with this. P from R, bearing of P from R. Now think that on what point we have to draw the compass. D point part is P from R. We have to find the bearing of P, but from which point? From R. So recall that from which point we have to start the movement. We have to draw the compass and start the movement from R, and we have to stop at what point? P. Okay, now let me see. Let me complete my compass at this position. Okay, now start the movement from R. Start the movement from R. Okay, and take this turn. What turn is this? This is again a semicircle, and then further I have to take this turn as well. Okay, but what will be the degree Meyer of this turn? What will be the degree Meyer of this turn? How to find out this angle? That is important. Now look, students, that north at this point and north at this point, they are parallel to each other. This is N and this is P, and this is north at R, north at R. Okay, now look, let me extend these lines. This angle, total angle was 73 degrees. If this is 73 degrees due to alternate angles, okay, if this is 73 degrees angle, this will also be 73 degrees. So it means here the angular turn will be 73 degrees. So the bearing of P from R is 180 plus 73, 180 plus 73, 3, 8 and 7, 15 and 253 degrees. I hope, students, you are really clear that how we are making the use of alternate angles. Okay, how we are making the use of alternate angles, and how we are finding the required angle. Then the next part says bearing of P P from R is done. Bearing of Q from R. Bearing of Q from R, this is E part, and bearing of Q from R. Q from R. Now again recall, NTC north has to be drawn at what point? That is R. And now instead of P, we have to stop the movement at point Q. So the north is already drawn. Let me use a different color pen. So I have to start the movement from this point, then I have to go through this point, then I have to reach at this point, and then I have to stop at this point. Now students, look at the figure carefully and see that how can we find out this angle. Now one of the way of finding the angle is, or the bearing is, that this is 180 and this turn is 73 degrees and this turn is 43 degrees. So one of the answer will be 180 plus 73 plus 43, and that is 296. One of the turn can be 180 plus 73 plus 43, and that is 3 3 and 6. Okay, 7 and 4 11, 11 and 8 is 19 and 296 degrees. This is one of the way of reaching for the bearing of Q from R. Or other way is that if we recall that we said in the previous part that this total angle was of Meyer 100 degrees, but out of that total angle, this portion is of Meyer 36 degrees. So this remaining angle is of Meyer 64 degrees. Now look, this north and this north, they are parallel to each other, and this is your alternate angle. Okay, if this is 64 degrees, if this is 64 degrees at this place, 64 at this place, this angle will also be 64 degrees. This angle will also be 64 degrees. Okay, so in the other way, you can see that I have almost the complete circle with me, but I have to stop before 64 degrees. So it can be 360 minus 64, and let me see the answer. 360 minus 64, which is 296 degrees. I hope you are really clear about this part, and let's move to the next part. And the next part is bearing of Q from R is done. R from Q, bearing of R from Q. F part is R from Q. Now look at what point we are supposed to draw the compass. We have to draw the compass at point Q, and we have to stop at R. Now look, if I am starting the movement from this point, I have to take this much turn only. Okay, so what to do to get this turn only? I do not have this remaining answer. I have to stop at this place. Okay, but if I'm completing this whole turn, I can have 180 degree angle with me, but this angle is of Meyer 64 degrees, so it will be 180 minus 64, and that's this 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 6 is 1, 116 degrees. Okay, before winding up, let me give a final look to all of my answers. Now for all those bearings which are less than 3 digits, I have to give my answers to 3 digits. This is 036, this is 216, 73. Okay, I have to write it 073 degrees, and then it will be 253, and rest are okay. I hope you are clear about today's class. Please watch my lessons, like, share and subscribe the channel, and press bell icon to get the notification of every lesson in time. Thank you very much.